Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader. I have a message for Virgo today, and to let you know how this works, I've asked my guides and spirit to bring a message through the cards that will be deeply positive and helpful for you this week as you navigate what's going on. My guides are also going to continue talking to me and sending me feelings and meaning as we go on. So the reading kind of unfolds as we talk as well. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I strongly urge you to consider subscribing to this channel so that you can stay in contact with this beneficial high vibration information every week. And if you're returning, just know that your presence is really appreciated. I love doing these readings and can't wait to get started. So let's go ahead and do this reading. We have the Lovers for the energy presented by the universe. This is the call to make a choice. There is a new beginning represented by this deer back here, and it's like the universe is presenting this with you, presenting you with the chance to make a choice, to do something very differently than the way you're accustomed to doing it in the past. So this takes you on a new journey. It opens up a whole new door. It probably is going to feel kind of uncomfortable, and it may make you feel quite vulnerable. So we've got the Nine of Wands for how you respond. Completely opposite, okay? There's a defensiveness. There's an unwilling to kind of leave that comfort zone, to give up your position of what has been working in the past, or what modality you happen to feel very comfortable with. There is an ask that you're going to give this up, and there's part of you that really does not want to do this. It's kind of like, I'm going to stay here no matter what, even if it's not really working. I'm going to stay here. So it's almost like you could maybe see the possibility of shifting the way that you apprehend or the way that you do things, the way that you receive your information. But there's an unwillingness to change. There's an unwillingness to give up the routine, to give up the familiar. And what's really interesting is that he's hurt, and his expression is priceless. He's still like, I'm not moving. So staying here is not safe for him anymore. It's not actually doing him any good. And that's why the Lovers is challenging you to be open to different ways. And we'll get into those different ways in a second, but to be open to really different ways of being, of letting the heart lead more than other things, more than the head, more than the stubbornness, more than the willfulness. And just the resistance to change. The heart understands growth and it understands openness, but there's a resistance to change that's there in you right now, that's not wanting to go this direction. So let's look at the rest of these cards. We've got the Princess of Wands, we've got the Strength card, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles. I'm very excited because this is the first time she's shown up in a reading that I've done with this deck. And I've done lots of readings, but for some reason she's been reticent to come out. So actually, though, this Queen of Pentacles is the old way of doing things. The quiet way, the way that is very grounded and very earthy, very calculated in the head, and also quite self-effacing. This is the kind of energy that wants to serve others so badly that it's willing to kind of do everything at the expense of herself. Out of all the queens, she's the quietest energy. Although she's very powerful, she's the most self-effacing of all the queens. This is the comfortable way of being. You know, the pentacles are also that earth energy. So that practical, rational, very pragmatic energy. That's the old way. And the universe is saying, we want a different way, the Lover's way. Now we get the Strength card and we get the Princess of Wands. What is striking me about both of these cards is not only the colors. Look at those beautiful, vibrant not earth colors, heart colors, really, creative colors, red, and the color of passion, and then the orange, the color of the sacral chakra. And red is also the color of the root chakra, so there may be a double meaning there. But this Princess of Wands, I just love her. She goes out and her heart leads. She's literally leading with her heart. She doesn't lead with her head. She's not kind of staying back waiting for something practical. She has heard the call. She knows that she has to go out on this journey, and she is very bravely going there. Now, she runs into the strength card. So this strength card is the strength of the old habit, because remember, this queen was on the same side as the boar. The strength of the old habit, the strength of the patterning, the strength of who we come in, how do I say this? How we come in with our birth. So we come in with certain astrology from birth, and that's kind of like sets the tone, but there's not, you don't have to stay in your astrology, which sounds funny, I know, because I divide these energies or these readings up by astrology, but you don't have to stay in the astrology that you're born with. You can learn to develop it, and you can learn to transcend it. That's what's being asked of right here with this boar. And she, look where she's got her hand. She's got her hand on her heart, and she's also left her sword on the ground. That the true way of taming the ego, of taming the birth self, of letting it go, is through following that heart. And so do you see how oh, my guys are so funny sometimes. I'm just gonna have to say it because I said it. It's like they're abreast each other, right? The heart center. They're sitting there. She's following her heart because she trusts it, and this is that wiser part of you that says the only strength is through the heart. The true strength of the soul is through the heart. And that's the invitation of the lovers. You know, what do lovers do? They love. Where does love come from? The heart. That's the invitation here. But it's not an easy path. And that's why she shows up. You know, it's not just, oh, let's follow my heart and everything is going to turn out well because I'm following my heart. This is a gritty path, following your heart. It sometimes creates opposition in other people. It creates opposition in yourself because sometimes it goes against your conditioning, that birth self, that unaware self. It's not the easiest path. And sometimes it involves giving up things, giving up your position of things that you hold very close to you, which may involve part of your identity. And I know this is all very kind of out there and esoteric, but for those of you that really are wanting to move forward, this is about leaving behind that earthly self and understanding that you have to go now with your heart. You can't just be doing things because they have to be done. You need to be doing something because you feel passionate about it, because you feel connected to it, and you feel like almost like your life, you can't imagine living without it. I mean, imagine living without a heart. You wouldn't, right? You wouldn't live if you didn't have a heart beating. And so when you have that purpose or that desire or that project or that person, and I want to maybe back up from the word person because it's really the way you feel towards them, not so much the person themselves. When you've got a feeling of, I have to do this because it's in my heart, then that's different. It's not, I have to do this because I think I have to do this. I have to do this because I've convinced myself or because it's practical. There's a difference between the head wisdom and the heart wisdom. This is also the energy of a planner. You know, she likes to make sure she's got a handle on everything. And though she's very connected to the earth and she abounds with health and healing and fertility, there's also a mental aspect to her. You know, that you notice the pentacle level is at her head. So this is doing what you have to do because your soul is telling you to do this. It requires nothing from anyone else. All it requires is that you are following your soul. The only validation you need will come from within you. So if this is something where you're trying to figure out, is this right for me or not, and you're trying to figure that out from an outside source, that's probably coming from here. This knowing is so deep and so strong that it doesn't need external validation. And that's what is so hard to give up. right? It's really hard to get in touch with that deep certainty if you're not used to living from it. But the only way you can connect to it is to practice it, and to practice really asking yourself deep inside, is this right for me? Is this right with me? So let me see if there's anything else they want to tell you. And the thing with the colors, they finally just came through with some information there. So do you notice these are both wearing red? We talked about that root chakra. They're saying this is the new foundation of your way forward, following the strength of your heart, not following the strength of your practicality. This is the new way forward. This is the pure way forward. So if you've got questions about that, please reach out in the comments. I always love to hear from you. And I also invite you to check out my website, trueguidancetarot.com. There's some amazing things on there. Intuitive readings over Zoom. Also a Phoenix Path program for those of you wanting to delve deeper into this spiritual journey and really wanting to come in contact and relationship with your soul and the deep questing that it takes to get there. So I look forward to seeing you next time, and have an awesome week.